and welcome to my channel. It's a lovely summer's evening here and it's absolutely throwing it down. So apologies if you can hear the rain. It's a little bit chilly but not too chilly, hence I have no sleeves but I have a brew. And today I'm bringing you what is now going to be my new storage for my mini dies. So I only have the diamond press machine, which is a small machine, so I only have in turn little dies. Quite a few diamond press and also some X-cut. Now after sorting out my stamp storage recently into these little wallets and in turn these little tubs, I did decide that I had another little tub and therefore I would use it to store my little dies. Now as you can see, I have a very measly little collection here. Now I have a few different types of dies. So I have, as I said, the X-cut dies, which I have quite a few that are just standard shapes. And then I picked up this cocktail one recently because I have plans on making a cocktail recipe book in a traveller's notebook. So I've picked that one up in preparation for when I find the time. I also have some mini stamp and die sets from Diamond Press, as well as some of the bigger packs of dies. I have some alphabets and I have one of the bigger stamps and dies set as well. So I thought I'd show you how I got them all into the smaller one and then show you how I prepare the pockets as well, and I'll pop this newer one in. So to show you what I already have, so this, as I say, is my measly little collection of dies, but I have the alphabets from Diamond Press, and what I did was I cut out the front of these so you can see the size of the alphabets. I have the uppercase, which are all on the back, and the lowercase. Then I have a couple that are like these, which are the stamp and die set. So what I've done with these is I've put the stamp on the front and then the dies in the back. So I've got those together, and in turn for the bigger one. Now the only thing I did find with the bigger one, apologies, quick interruption there. So the only thing I did find with the bigger set was that this was actually longer than my pocket. So what I did was I just trimmed off the bottom two and popped them down the side so they still all fit in. I've got the stamps on the front and I've got the dies on the back. So on this one you do get 11 stamps and 8 dies. I may in turn do a cutout of these dies, I'm not sure, but at the minute it gives me an idea and I can still see what they are. Now on the smaller sets, so to move those out of the way, so either the things like this that have a few different shapes or the X-cut dies, all I've done with those is just pop them onto the sheet. Now you can see them when you look at them up close, so you can see that is the cloud pack and that's a couple of X-cut ones. And then I have the set that comes with the Diamond Press machine. I have the circles from Diamond Press, and then I have hearts and stars. Now I may in turn, as I say, decide to punch these out and in effect flip these over and pop the shapes on there, but at the minute I'm finding that I can see them perfectly well. So to create these pockets, I did do a short video on how I created them, so I will insert this here. So to show you how I made these storage wallets, okay, what I've took is a CD DVD sleeve, excuse the rustling. So I got these as a pack of 100 on Amazon and they are 100 micron. Okay. So if I pull one out, it's just your standard CD DVD sleeve, but of course see-through. So to get it to this size, what I did was I used the Fuels tool to turn this into this. Now my fuse tool isn't plugged in. I have done these because of the time it takes to heat up, but I've got the tip for giving us a serrated edge. Now I did do a measure for a piece of card to work out what would fit into my tub before I did this, and I found that it was actually the difference between those two edges, which worked out really well and really easy. So what I did was I lined up the edge of my plastic wallet with my ruler and popped it down on my heat resistant mat, and then I just ran this down slow and steady, as it says on the packaging, to get myself the edge, which you may or may not be able to see here. Then what I'm going to do, slash have done, is I take my trimmer just to trim off the edge, which you can use the fuse tool, but I find the trimmer just as handy, if not handier, to do that with. So that gives me just that little lip on the side, and then I take a pair of scissors, and from the joint at the top, just in the right sort of angle, chop. And that gives me then a resized CD wallet that will fit in my storage. Inside each of those, I've then put a piece of card, which for these is 4 1/4 inches by 5 inches, and that fits perfectly. So once I had my pockets ready, to make them ready for my dies, what I did was I purchased these, what they call magnetic shims, and they're by X-Cut. I purchased them from the range, and for a pack of 4, A5 size was £2.50. So I don't know whether that's a good price or not, but it seemed good enough for me. So to get them into my pockets, what I did was I got my trusty trimmer, and I cut the long edge down so that it was 5 inches, and then I cut it to, well, 10.5 centimetres or 4 1/8 of an inch, and that gave me 2 sets which would go into 2 wallets, and they just fit in. They're slightly thinner than the piece of card that I have in, but not much, and they fit into these pockets great. So for my last set, I have a spare. Let's pop that in the back. So then all I've done is just taken these out of their packaging. Now the alphabets were fun, boy were they stuck, and quite often I do end up ripping these packages trying to get into them anyway. So what I've done is I've just peeled the dies off and popped all the separate elements on here. I do find with the likes of the X-Cut dies I can get 4, and some of course the nesting dies, the smaller dies for diamond press, I can also fit 4. Then what I've done is slip that into the packet and folded it over. So on some of these X-Cut ones you can see there's no need to die cut that image, I can see it perfectly. So that is now my little die storage with a mixture of some stamps and some others. And oh, I wonder why the flat was sticking up on that one, and that's because it's my spare. So they all fit into there quite nicely, and I have lots and lots of room to grow, as I do with my stamp set. So winner winner, more space I can get to purchase more goodies in my scrapbooking room, I'm all for. So you can see my video on my stamp storage, that is already showing up on my channel, and to join it is now how I store my dies. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again soon.